Greetings everyone, welcome to Kadic Reviews. Now, I've reviewed many a fighting game on this channel. Killer Instinct 10, Mortal Kombat 10, or now 10 Large. Now a 9 because of the DLC content and constant updates. Street Fighter 5, well, that's a dumpster fire, a 2 out of 10. And it still hasn't gotten any better after 6 months. If you're wondering where the revisit video is, there isn't really a point for it. It has a story mode. Yay! The story mode sucks. Boo! Long and short of it, didn't improve the game. But if you're a PlayStation 4 fan, on the major level, Mortal Kombat and Street Fighter are what you got. But if you're willing to explore a little bit, you might find Guilty Gear 3rd Revelator out there. Or you might find the subject of today's review, the King of Fighters 14. Now, let me be frank and full disclosure here. I have no experience with the King of Fighters series. This was my first time. Yes, a new fighting game versional cherry popped. After 20 years, the closest I ever got to it was the old school Fatal Fury arcade games back when I was really young that featured a few of the characters, but in terms of King of Fighters as a whole, this is a first for me. And King of Fighters 14 may not be the best in presentation wise. That's still Street Fighter 5. It may not be the best fighting game period. That's still Killer Instinct. It may not have the best music or just overall look aesthetic. That's Guilty Gear and BlazBlue. But for your bottom dollar, get everything at a decent level, King of Fighters 14 will suffice. And it starts with its 60-man roster. Yes, you tier whores, there's 60 characters in it, all of which have different personalities and attributes, most of which are veteran King of Fighters players, with a few new additions just to spice things up a bit. Don't ask me to go further in detail because of my lack of experience. But surprisingly, for a roster so big, it's balanced out, mainly because of its combat system. Its combat system plays, yes, like traditional fighting games with your button commands and combos, but it adds a new low tier get into the game concept. Two, in fact, max mode and rush combos. Rush combos are simply done by tapping the square button multiple times. It's an easy access combo that can do some damage and can be linked into, making the notion of getting combos a lot easier to tackle. And then there's the max mode. Street Fighter and Killer Instinct have their Shadow and EX moves. Max mode does practically the same thing, giving an attack booster to every special move or attack that you do during the short time period there is in, which combined with the easy to learn but hard to master combo system can make combos very devastating. But it's when you look under the hood of King of Fighters and see the technical depth that is in the fighting system that it truly starts to transcend. Guard breaks, which should be in every fighting game out there, is in here. Multiple cancels, an easy combo breaker type button, rolls and dodges and super cancels. It almost feels a lot like Marvel, and it sort of plays like it too, based on its 3-on-3 team play. But unlike Marvel, the three characters aren't just instantly tag in and tag out. Each of the rounds features a character that you select easily in order before the match. The rounds play out, survivor stays, loser gets swapped until all the team members are gone. So, knowing your team's strengths, weaknesses, and pluses will definitely lead to victory here, especially online. In my experience, online games were hard to initially get into because of a lack of player pool. But only one time did I have an extremely laggy, low input game. Most games played smooth as silk. Even when I was Twitch streaming the whole deal, games turned out to be okay by and large. Yeah, I didn't win any ranked games, but there'll be another time for that off the work schedule. But speaking of online, with the netcode being so-so, it's not going to be too impressive. But the kinds of things that you're able to do. Single one-on-one fights with or without a big massive spectation group. Rank battles with team registration that is easy to get into, has a waiting room, and even an online training feature. Impressive. Time trial modes, survival modes, a full-blown and very expertly given tutorial, a training mode with solid depth, one-on-one or 3-on-3 basic versus mode, a gallery full of unlocks, and yes, a rather comical at some points, but rather short and to the point story mode, which I have to state, SNK, why is the story mode not streamable on services? Sure, it's not a deal breaker and it won't lower the rating here, but I would love to know the justification of why not. It's not gonna hurt anybody. In fact, it's a basic, see a couple of cutscenes, fight 4 times, and that's it. Or so. It's not anything story specific. We're not talking Quantum Break here. It just seemed like an odd choice to eliminate it. Title changes and other things keep the customization and depth up. And, again, the sheer amount of characters will keep you busy. There's just more initially in the box than Street Fighter V could even dream of, which instantly puts it, at least on the PS2 level, based on the games I've played right now, instantly at number 2, right behind Killer Instinct for fighting games to play. The music is decent and the stage looks nice. 3D fighters under 2D backgrounds. 2D backgrounds, however, don't have a lot going on, but that's okay. Not every fighting game needs a really active background to look all great. And presentation-wise in the menus and outside of the game, what you see is what you get approaches here. It's not really going to be that shocking or impressive. You're just going to get solid fighting game mechanics. You're also going to only get it at 40 frames a second at best. The game's not really developed to run at 60, which most modern day fighting games are. But again, the mechanics and the gameplay smoothness and balance went out, plus the depth of modes. Sure, it's not the best King of Fighters that SNK has delivered. I've heard there are others that are vastly superior, and for the most part, I can see their point. But for my first King of Fighters experience, I couldn't ask for a better time and a better fully fledged package. Great depth under the machine, combined with characters and plenty of modes for money. King of Fighters 14 is worth a strong look, if not a buy at a cheaper price. Unlike Street Fighter V, you get what you pay for. And there is a lot right out of the box. Sure, the story mode isn't as quote-unquote gripping as Street Fighter V's is or Mortal Kombat's is, but at least it's serviceable. It's old school arcade fighting game fun with the technicality to boot. So give this one a shot. You won't feel too ashamed about it. 7 out of 10 with kind of silver harmony medal for recommendation. Especially if you're on PlayStation 4, this or Mortal Kombat 10 could be the fighting games to pick up. So, nice job, SNK. Not bad for a first time. Find peace in your own nirvana. Thanks for watching.